What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to the Nick Beasley Show. Yes, we have reset it. It is the Nick Beasley Show. I'm your host, Nick Beasley. We're going to be talking about the NFL schedules that were released, I think, about 2 weeks ago. Um, Holy crap, some of these schedules. So let's first start with my team, the Miami Dolphins. Week 1, we open up the season at home versus Jacksonville. Week 2, week 2 we host Buffalo on Thursday Night Football. Not too excited about that. About 4 days of rest between our first and second game, and our second game is Buffalo. Then we go to Seattle week 3. Host Tennessee week 4 on a Monday night. Go to New England on October 6th. Then we have our bye week October 13th. Now, me personally, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that the bye week is this early, because we will play 5 games and then a bye week. Now, it's 5 winnable games, especially depending on how the Buffalo Bills offense works without Stephon Diggs, without Gabe Davis. Like, they're not there anymore. Josh Allen is still there. I absolutely love Josh Allen. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he is going to be I think he's going to play great regardless of who he's throwing the ball to, but it does hurt him a little bit that he does not have Stephon and Gabe Davis. But I do think Miami can potentially win this game. It's at home, so I'm going to say we're going to win this game. We're going to beat Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville a lot. I still don't trust Trevor Lawrence. And because of that, I'm going to say we're going to beat Jacksonville. At Seattle, new coaching staff in Seattle, brand new system in Seattle, brand new building basically in Seattle. There's a few key pieces there that were there last year, but for the most part, they're all kind of faded out, contract, stuff like that. Geno Smith is getting older. He's getting old. He didn't play well last year. I don't think he has a great year this year. I think we're going to beat them. I think we beat Tennessee on Monday night. Will Levis, but with again, new coaching staff, and I love Callahan. I absolutely love him. I think he's a great coach. Obviously, we saw what he did with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I still don't see him being especially week 4, that ascendantly great head coach. Think we're gonna win there. At New England, Drake May probably won't be starting. Probably Jacoby Brissett. If it's me, I'm definitely not letting Drake May start week 5 at all. Not even touching the field in week 5. I do think we're gonna beat them again. New coaching staff in New England, brand new system. Gerard Mayo, I'm sure he's gonna be a fine coach, but he's very brand new to this. For that reason, I do have us beating New England. Now, coming out of the bye week, we go to Indianapolis. Second-year head coach Shane Steichen. Second-year quarterback Anthony Richardson, who we don't know a lot about because he didn't play a lot last year. I think he played 4 games and then was out for the season with the shoulder injury. Don't know how he's progressing with that. I hear good reviews out of camp. I've heard that he's doing very well coming out of uh, OTAs, but we just don't know how great he's going to do. I do think we're going to beat Indy again. Just early on in the season, I think we go 6-0. Then we host Arizona. We're going to beat them. I'm not even going to. Kyler Murray is not a good quarterback. And for anybody that thinks, oh, Kyler Murray's a good quarterback, shut up. He's not a good quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. is in a terrible situation to the rookie wide receiver. He's not a good quarterback. Kyler Murray's not a good quarterback. I don't care what you say. And I truly do not trust Jonathan Gannon at all. Like, at all. Guy's an idiot. So we'll beat them. Then we go to Buffalo November 3rd. We are going to lose that game, unfortunately. But I do think it'll be a good game. But yeah, we're going to lose. It's going to be bad. And I'm going to be upset. But it's in Buffalo, and that's our first loss of the year. Really, that game, I'm not going to go through every game. But that game, San Fran, Cleveland, Houston, and then at the Jets to end the year, those are the games I see us losing. I do think we go 12-5. I don't see a whole lot of L's on this schedule. I think the schedule makers were very favorable to the Dolphins. We still got to figure out Tua Tagovailoa's contract situation, which, believe me, as a Dolphins fan, I am praying to the gods above gets figured out. I don't want a season of wondering if he's going to be our quarterback in the future. He's good enough. Let's sign him. He's not top 10 quarterback money, but he is good enough to sign him. Let's get it over with. Now, we're going to go by division. So, let's go from the Dolphins to the Jets. Dolphins to the Jets. Year 2 of Aaron Rodgers, and we didn't really get a year 1 of Rodgers in New York. Obviously, 4 plays into it, boom, he's out. And they do not have a favorable schedule, at least not to start off. They go to San Francisco on Monday night to open up the season. I've heard Mike Greenberg say this on Get Up. Don't take Rodgers on the trip. Don't take him on the trip. Don't let him. I agree. Don't let him go because the same guy that popped his Achilles last year is on the Niners this year, Leonard Floyd. And here's the thing. It's San Francisco. That's not going to be a good game for you. You're not winning that game. You're not. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk is probably not getting traded. He's probably getting a new deal. George Kittle, Ricky Parcell, who they just drafted. You've got an elite offensive line. Yeah, you're missing a piece, but you got an elite offensive line. Your defense with Nick Bosa and Floyd, and then the middle, you still have Fred Warner and Greenlaw at the backer position. Like, you're not beating San Francisco if you're in New York. I'm sorry. I know you have Sauce. I know you have Garrett Wilson. I know you have Aaron Rodgers. I know you have Breece Hall. I know you got Mike Williams, but can we trust Mike Williams will be healthy? I know you got the tackle from Dallas, but can we trust he'll be healthy? Can we trust that Rodgers will be healthy all year? He is a 40-year-old quarterback coming off of a torn Achilles. I don't know if I can trust Rodgers to be healthy this year. And to start the season off at San Francisco is painful. Very, very painful for Jets fans. Then you kind of do have a favorable after that. You got Tennessee, New England, Denver, and Minnesota. And the Minnesota game is in London. I think you win all those games for sure. But then you come back from London, you go against Buffalo. I think by that time, Buffalo is going to have it figured out. It's at home, so I'm going to say the Jets beat Buffalo in New York, in Jersey, but that's a tough one. And then you go to Pittsburgh, and say what you want about Pittsburgh, but they added this year. They added Patrick Queen. They got really good depth on their back end of their defense. They still have TJ Watt, who I still think has been robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year almost every single year. You've got, yes, you have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but honestly, it's a hell of an upgrade from what you had last year. You have George Pickens, and you're going to have other receivers come in that you picked up in free agency and in the draft. Like, the Steelers are going to be a good team this year. They're always a winning team. They're going to be a good team this year. Then you go to New England. Then you host Houston on Thursday Night Football. I don't think you're beating Houston. I just don't see it happening. CJ Stroud, second year, with Stephon Diggs in Houston. I don't see you beating them. I know it's not in Houston, it's in New York, but I'm saying with all the talent that's around CJ Stroud, I don't see this Texans team losing a lot of games, and that's not one of the games I see them losing for sure. Then you go Arizona, Indy, yeah, you're beating them. Seattle, I don't think you beat Miami in Miami. I just don't. I think Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, we added Odell Beckham Jr. It's just too much of a gauntlet there. You're probably beating Jacksonville. You're going to be a playoff team. I see 11 wins here. Yeah. Second in the division and 11 wins. Now, let's go to the Bills schedule, which, I'll be honest with you, I'm super excited about looking at the Bills schedule because I'm a big fan of Josh Allen. The Bills schedule early on, pretty favorable. You got Arizona. You go to Miami. I think you lose that game. You host Jacksonville. I think you'll probably beat Jacksonville, honestly. Then you go to Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. You're not beating Baltimore. It's not happening. That defense is too good, and they added to their backfield one of the best running backs in the game. I don't care about age. I don't care how old he is. He's one of the best backs in the game. So yeah, you're losing that one for sure. I think you lose at Houston and Stephon Diggs matchup against Josh Allen. I think you lose at New York on Monday Night Football. You're dropping a game to Kansas City. You're losing to San Fran. I think Detroit beats you because they're going to be more physical than you. I'm seeing I said what 11-6 for. I mean, I see 11-6 here for Buffalo. Like I don't see you winning a lot of these games. Let's go to the last team in the AFC East, the New England Patriots. The dynasty is dead. The dynasty now exists in Kansas City. Drake May should not touch the football field. I'm going to say this first. Drake May, the starting quarterback from North Carolina that's now with the Patriots, should not touch the field in year one, except for week 18 when you're out of it and you got no chance of making the playoffs. Because I'm telling you right now, New England, you don't have the roster to build a good rookie quarterback. What you should have done, seriously, you should have kept Mac Jones. You should have built a roster around Mac and seen if that could go. Because here's the thing. You don't have to pay Mac big contract money because he hasn't earned it. You could pay him league minimum for a year. You could tag him for a year. Build the team around him, and if he doesn't pan out, draft a quarterback in next year's draft. Quinn Ewers is going to be in next year's draft. I guarantee you he's a better pro than Drake May is going to be, at least in year one. I do have high hope for Drake May, but not much. Not much at all, honestly. Like, I see 3 games you're winning. I see Arizona. I think you can beat the Chargers, and I think you can beat Jacksonville. That's it. And those 3 games are not guaranteed wins. I'm not as high. I don't think as highly of those teams as I do the rest of the teams on your schedule. That's the bottom line. Like that's the bottom line. So let's go to the next round. The Texans. AFC South. The Houston Texans, last year's division winners. Year 2 with CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans and Will Anderson. Very favorable schedule, honestly. I mean, Baltimore and Kansas City at the end of the year, okay. You're probably not winning those games. But like I look at the schedules, you're not playing anybody that's like impossible to beat. You're not playing the Bengals. You're not playing. That's really it. It's really the only team that's not impossible to beat. Like I don't see you beating Kansas City. I don't see you beating Baltimore, and you're not playing the Bengals. So you probably split with Jacksonville in the division. I could see you dropping the December 15th game to Miami. That's late in the year, and it's in Miami or it's at home. But maybe you drop the game to Green Bay, but that's a toss up. Maybe Detroit out physically abuses you, and you just get beat up in that game. Maybe you drop that game. I don't see Buffalo beating. There's not a lot of games here that I'm looking at and I'm like, man, this is tough on Houston. This is easy. Houston should be a playoff team, an 10-11 win team here. Like, this is easy. Like, none of these games scare me if I'm the Houston Texans, except for the Chiefs and the Ravens at the end of the year. And even the Ravens game, depending on health on Christmas, could be a bigger game. Or it could be a better game, and you could win that game. Now we go to the next team in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans. Year 2 of Will Levis, but a brand new coaching staff in Tennessee. I don't see much here, honestly. Like, you're not beating Miami. You're not beating the Jets. I don't even think you beat Chicago week 1, and I like Will Levis a lot. I don't think you beat Chicago week 1. You're not beating Buffalo. You'll beat New England. You're not beating Cincy. You're not beating Indy late in the year. You're not beating Jacksonville late in the year. And you're not beating Houston. I mean, you might have 5 wins. Like, genuinely, I look at the schedule and I'm like, this 5 wins. You're a 5-win team. Next up, we go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in my opinion, and I know people are going to laugh at this and you're going to clown me, this really, truly is the Trevor Lawrence prove-it year. Because they did bring in a quarterback. They brought in Mac Jones. And I know people are going to say, well, he's not a good quarterback. Shut up. I've watched him. He's a good quarterback. The problem in New England was the system around him was shit. They sucked. The coaches were terrible. Nobody knew what they were doing, and they ruined that kid. This is a prove-it year for Trevor. He's got to prove it this year. This is his money year. You're at Miami to open it up. Then you go to Cleveland. Those are 2 losses right there off the bat. And that Cleveland defense is going to be savages this year. So you're losing those 2 games. I don't see you taking out Buffalo, genuinely. In week 3, maybe, but it depends on your receiving core. You're going to drop a game to Houston. You're going to drop a game to Indy probably later in the year. You're not beating Philly. I don't think you beat Detroit. Like 9-8, 9-8, and maybe you slip in the playoffs if the Texans fall off. Like, that's really it. And the Colts in 2024. Like, I'm looking at y'all's schedule. Pitt, Jacksonville, Miami, Houston, the Jets, Detroit, Denver. Like, Denver's a winnable game. Like, there's not a lot of winnable games here for the Colts either. Maybe you surprise us and beat Green Bay week 2. I don't see that happening. You'll probably beat Chicago week 3. Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it, honestly. Like, that's a lot. Like, there's a lot of games here that I don't see you winning. I just don't. The Chiefs, I've heard a lot about the Chiefs this year. And the gauntlet that they have to go through. So let's go to the Chiefs here, 2024. To open up their season, they host Baltimore on Thursday Night Football to kick off the season. This is a troll job by Roger Goodell and the Chiefs and the NFL. They're like, yo, Baltimore, y'all are supposed to be the Super Bowl champions last year. Everybody had it, Baltimore, San Francisco in the Super Bowl. So because you didn't make it, you now have to go play the big brother in Kansas City on their ring night, on their banner night, when the celebration's happening, and you got to try to ruin that moment for them. And I don't see Baltimore doing that. Maybe if the Kansas City receivers are as bad as they were last year, which I don't think they can get worse. I mean, they added Marquise Brown, so that's great. They've got Xavier Worthy, who, by the way, Buffalo, I still hate you for that. And I haven't forgiven you for what you gave them with Patrick Mahomes either. But I hate you for what you just did with Xavier Worthy. You host Cincinnati week 2. I could see a loss there. Right, you get a longer bye. You get a little mini bye week because you're playing on Thursday night, so you don't have to. It's this 9-day or 10-day break or whatever. You'll beat Atlanta with Kirk. You're gonna beat the Chargers. You're gonna beat New Orleans. I think you lose at San Francisco. I think San Francisco gets some revenge there. You're beating Denver. You're beating Vegas. You're beating Tampa. Like, maybe Pitt at the end of the year gets you on Christmas. Maybe you're. I don't like. There's not a lot of games here where I'm like worried about it. Like, I'm not. The early part, and maybe Cleveland. Maybe Cleveland and Pittsburgh at the end get you. But, like, yeah, no, the early parts, I'm like, okay, cool. So they're going to play again? Whoop-de-doo. Like, in my opinion, the Chiefs are, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl every year. That's what it feels like to me. The Chiefs feel like the Patriots did for so long. Doesn't matter who's on their team or what they do, as long as they have 15, they're going to be in it and they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. I do have the Chiefs three-peating this year. I won't go through all these schedules. I know some teams are going to get mad at me. Some fan bases are going to get mad at me. But I want to go to this real quick because I feel so bad for Pittsburgh fans. I feel so bad for you people. Holy crap, the NFL hates y'all. So early part of your season, you've got it easy, kind of rough, right? You got Atlanta, Denver, the Chargers, Indy. You're getting knocked out by Dallas. Dallas is going to knock you out. Vegas, the Jets, the Giants. Like, the Jets could probably beat you, but, it is what it is. The Commanders with Jaden Daniels, which I'll talk about him in a separate video. Him, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, all of them. I'm talking about them in a separate video, probably being recorded later or tomorrow or something. But then after that, after the Jaden Daniels game, let's go to week, I think it's 11. Think. Yeah. NFL, what are we doing? Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Who is making that schedule? You're literally telling the Steelers, y'all suck every year and you still make the playoffs. It makes no sense. So now you're gonna have to be good to get in the playoffs because you're getting a freaking gauntlet. Oh my god! What are you doing? Like, do you see this gauntlet? Oh my god! I'm not making it up, guys. Look at this. Look at. Well, you can't see, but this gauntlet. Who is making the schedule for the Steelers? And why do they hate them? Like, this is a gauntlet. This is punishment. This is punishment. I don't see you winning any. Maybe you might split with Baltimore. You might split with Cleveland. I don't see you beating Cincinnati at all. You're not beating Philly if Philly's healthy. No chance in hell you're beating Kansas City on Christmas. Like, it's not happening. Like, I don't. Oh my god, what are they doing? This is bad. Like, astronomically bad. What are you doing? Oh my god. Like, I feel bad. I feel bad for Pittsburgh. And I know I'm friends with some Steelers fans. Their reaction to this is the same as mine. What are we doing? Why is this their schedule? Who made this schedule? I want to know, genuinely, Roger Goodell, what Cleveland Brown paid you for this schedule? What Baltimore Ravens player paid you for this? What Bengals player said, hey, make it extremely impossible for the Steelers to win anything? By making all of their divisional games at the end of the year when it's cold in the NFC North, and put Philadelphia and Kansas City in there for good measure, for fun. This is ridiculous. Like, that is, oh my god, that is a gauntlet. The Dallas Cowboys, I've seen their schedule. I'm not worried about them. They'll go 12-5. Their concern needs to be getting CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott somehow re-signed. I don't think Dak walks in free agency. I think he does sign a deal there. But it's very difficult because you can't tag him and you can't trade him. CD needs to get a deal. They need to get a deal done with him like yesterday. Same with Micah. And look, all the reports coming out that Micah and CD, they're not at OTAs. Guys, it's voluntary. Okay, they don't have to be there. I'm not worried about it. They'll be there when it matters. They'll be there when the mini camp starts. They'll be there for training camp. They'll be there for the season. That's what matters. I'm not worried about what they're doing in OTAs, right? It's literally May. Who cares, right? Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. Please, if you watched this entire video, thank you. And if you would like to see more content like this, hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have 480 subscribers. Really trying to hit that 500 mark by the end of the summer. More stuff like this will be coming out, more football stuff. College football 25 is about to drop soon. I'm getting that game. So gameplay from that's going to be coming out. Like, super excited for what this year is about to be for my channel and for content. So, thank you all. Love you all. Bye.